Hello and welcome back to this sacred space or this new sacred space. It's been a while, so I do want to begin by chatting a bit. And if you want to skip ahead to the message, there will only be one collective message today. You can find a timestamp for that down below. However, I do want to point out that I'm not using any cards today, so I'm only tapping into my psychic abilities and my mediumship abilities to deliver messages here today. So see you then, and for those of you who want to stick around for the chat, hi. It feels like forever almost. I feel a bit rusty, so thank you for having patience with me while I'm finding ground again. So this has been a strange period. So a while back, probably a week after I recorded the last video that is uploaded here on the channel, I attempted to record another reading. However, it just didn't work. I hit a wall and the messages really didn't flow. Well, it flowed at the beginning when I was tapping in and receiving messages through my abilities only, but when I started to pull out cards, it just went blank. And so I realized that I need to do this differently, and I didn't know quite how, if it was the theme of the reading or another way or whatever. And so I put the cards down and I paused for a while and tried it again with the same results. And so I found myself very stuck in the situation, very lost, and it was quite uncomfortable. And I reached a point where I just felt that I knew that I needed some help. So I reached out to my beloved teacher and mentor to receive some guidance. And she really affirmed me in the change that I'm moving through, growing more confident in my mediumship abilities and my psychic abilities without the assistance of cards. And so she was affirming what I sort of really had an inkling of, that it was time to put the cards down for a while and to really hone in, gaining confidence in my abilities and not using the cards as a crutch. And I'm really feeling very weird sensations in my face right now when I'm talking, like I'm hitting a cold or something. So I don't know if someone in here has a cold or something. I think I'm picking that up. Yeah. So anyhow, it can be really, really difficult to let go sometimes, because I was clinging on so hard to what I had been doing, and I think I know why. I think a part of me knows that this change is needed for me to grow, and that it will take me to new places. And that's scary. I know that I will grow beyond what I am and what I do now. And it's uncomfortable for my human self. So I probably intuitively hold on to my old self for my dear life. And so I do want to say that if you find yourself in a similar situation, don't hesitate to reach out and ask for help and assistance. It was really comforting I felt like almost as if I was finally allowed to put the cards down. It sounds really strange because I do love working with the cards, but it had become a burden when it didn't work as it usually does. And I've been feeling so intensely drawn to mediumship and to mediumship content. And that's where my passion drives me right now. And that's what I want to explore. And it's so funny because I told one of you here, you know who you are, gave you guidance to trust your passion and follow your passion. And it's time for me to walk my talk. And what I feel most passionate about right now is to give you a sort of weekly guidance. It's sort of forecast / guidance advice from the spirit realm. And I will be connecting into different energies. We'll see what comes forth. And there will be one collective message today because I feel like that's appropriate, that feels right today. And perhaps some other time I will do more groupings of 2, 3, or 4, or even 5, who knows. And perhaps other things too, we'll see. We'll find out as we go. So with that being said, I think it's time now to set the intention and to create the space for this session. So I'm connecting in. Connecting in with my sacred self and the wisdom, love and strength of my sacred self through all existing lifetimes, both the past, the present and the future, coming together in this now moment. Connecting deeper into Ma Kali, my beloved Dark Mother, asking for her assistance throughout this reading, asking her to guard and protect this sacred space and to only allow in those energies that she deemed fit to be here with us today. Connecting deeper into my psychic abilities and my mediumship abilities, asking my spirit guides to enhance them and strengthen them in a way that's appropriate for me and my well-being at this moment. Connecting in with the spirit guides, the ancestors, and the beloved dead of this community, asking Ma Kali to act as a mediator between us for messages, to protect my energies. I set the intention to give you guidance, clarity, and wisdom throughout this session, and that I channel these messages in a clear, concise, powerful, and intentional way. And I pray that these messages are for the highest good of all beings and the earth in its entirety. Let it be so. Thank you. Let's begin. So I'm beginning by connecting into the space for a while, and I'm feeling Spirit coming close. There's a lot of voices. So this is what we're going to talk about first. There's a lot of voices wanting to come through, wanting to come forth, as it is when they sense that someone can communicate between realms. And so that is why I am asking and stating Makali to act as a mediator between these spirits and myself, so that I do not connect in with all of the energies that are present around you who are watching, because then I would become exhausted, and that's not what we want. And I want to say also, I forgot to say this before, perhaps, I don't know, I'm a bit spacey. I'm doing this one single collective message right now because I'm easing into this. I feel that that's the capacity that I have for today. So we'll see where we go from here. Okay. I'm feeling into it a bit more. Okay, so I'm feeling Kali coming through now. And she's reminding me to state, to ask for what it is that I want to know. And so what I do want to know is the area of life that they want for us to focus these messages on for today. This weekly guidance for this community. What area of life does this concern? So I'm receiving work. I'm seeing work. And they're giving me an alternative. It can also be caring for other human beings if you currently do not have any work or do not intend to get work right now. So that can mean caretaking for your own children, caretaking for other children, although it's not your job. Perhaps you are a grandparent, etc. So this relates to work or the caretaking of other humans. It can even be caretaking of parents. Okay, so what is... let's see what to ask next. You see, I'm asking questions for spirit. They're not just giving me things, because it is I who hold the space and who is setting the frame and the structure for this session. And that is how I work best, to have a structure, to have a sort of framework to work from, and asking questions and then receiving answers. So what's the general theme or feeling around work or caretaking of other human beings this upcoming week, from Monday to Saturday, Sunday? They're giving me a color green, and there is a beloved dead coming forth now. This feels like a man, an elder man. So this is a grandparent or great-grandparent. And he's coming forth as my own granddad on my mother's side. And he was working very much with his hands. I'm closing my eyes because it's easier for me right now to receive messages when I close my eyes. So he was very apt with his hands. And woodworking, working in the garden. And he enjoyed dancing as well. And what he says is that there is peace. There's peace to be found when working with your hands. So whenever you are working that with something that doesn't require that much of a brain activity, he's asking you to not have anything on in the background, not any background noise, no music, no podcast, and perhaps even closing doors and things like that, if that's applicable to you. That's all that he wanted to say. Okay. Now I'm feeling spirit guides coming through. And what I feel, what they want to speak about, it has more to do with your spiritual gifts, your spiritual abilities. Perhaps it is psychic powers. Perhaps it is reading objects, such as runes, crystals, cards, whatever. They're asking you, for some of you, to practice your craft for at least 30 minutes a week on the weekend. And at least 5 minutes per day, every day. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in. For those of you who resonate with this message. And this also ties into work, but because this is your sort of work together with spirit. Whether you choose to do it as a offering for others or just for yourself, this is your work with spirit, because you're also working on yourself when you're doing readings for yourself with objects. Is there anything else? I'm asking for a final message here, something to be aware of throughout this week, this upcoming week. Love it when the camera battery dies in the middle of a session. So, where were we? Anything we need to be aware of throughout this week that distracts us. They're giving me people, other people. And it's not necessarily that they are purposefully distracting you or that they are meaning to slow you down or anything like that. It's just that for where you're at right now, you need to focus. You need to focus more. And so at times, you can set the telephone on mute or airplane mode, just so that you can be undisturbed. Whenever that's appropriate for you. There's something more important that they want to say here. I'm seeing my mom now, so I'm wondering. There's something that they want to draw my attention to here. Okay, so for some of you, you might feel obliged to answer certain calls. For example, when family calls you, or a certain friend, perhaps a mother. But they're saying that you can always call them back up at another time. You can let them know that you will be calling them back. If there's not an emergency, you don't need to pick up the phone, because I do feel that there are some of you that have tense relationships with certain people, and that will sort of get you out of balance, out of focus for some time after the conversation has been had, and that's not really good for you. And so for those whom this applies, you don't need to answer the phone immediately. You can call them back up. And I'm getting very spacey right now, so I think it's time to close up this session and keep trying again next time. And I think at some point I do want to go live and answer more specific questions from you, delivering messages from your spirit guides and beloved dead and ancestors. So that's something that I do want to do in the future. But for now, thank you all for connecting in. I'm happy to be back, and I will be here again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.